Hello everyone, Catweazle here, welcome to the channel and welcome back to our playthrough of Arkham Horror, the end of everything where we're all in for Christmas and New Year. Yes, we've got all 3 expansion boards, we've got virtually every card in the game and we are running 8 investigators and we are just about to start turn 11. But before we do, we've got a few things to go through. First of all, we've got to move this moving gate because it's actually a slash moving gate, so we should have moved it on black, so it goes up to Rivertown along with everything else, with the Leng Spider and the Ancient Whispers marker. Other than that, we had a brief chat, didn't we, about Jim Culver and about whether he was delayed or not. Now, I couldn't find anything anywhere, but it was New Year's Eve and I was like not taking my time. I was in a bit of a rush to go out and have a few glasses of pop. Consequently, I skimmed over the FAQ, the frequently asked questions, and I totally missed where it actually talked about it. If you actually look at the previous episode, somebody has kindly copied and pasted it into the comments, so you can read it all there. But basically, stay here next turn. I've dug out the original card, and if you remember, he got trapped in the mausoleum, and it says, if I pick the right card up, says the door slams shut and you get trapped in the mausoleum. Stay here next turn. Now, stay here next turn is exactly the same as delayed. So I was right. I could sort of, I remembered reading it somewhere, but I couldn't place where it was. It's actually in the FAQ. Stay here next turn is exactly the same as delayed. They were meant to take all these stay here next turns out and replace them with delayed, but a few got through. So this is one of the cards that actually it got through on. It does mean delayed. Miss a turn does mean miss a turn. So that is slightly different, but stay here next turn is exactly the same as delayed. Because of that, we were allowed to have this encounter, because delayed just means that you can't move. As soon as you stand up, you can have an encounter. So this encounter was fine. We passed the will -2 check, and then I didn't do the if you pass, and I didn't take these clues because I wasn't sure. But we're actually going to do it because that is a delayed, so we were able to do this. So he's going to take those 2 clue tokens, and he is actually going to move to the Black Cave. So there we go. So he's in the Black Cave with those 2 other clue tokens. He doesn't pick them up immediately because it's not the same as the clue appearing while he's there. He's got to pick them up during the movement phase, but the movement phase is coming, so he'll get those as well. So he is up to 5 clues now, and we've sorted that out. So we'll shuffle these back into the Rivertown deck, and there you go. Stay here next turn is exactly the same as delayed. Miss a turn means you miss a complete turn. So we've cleared that up. So thanks to those of you that pointed out where it was in the actual FAQ that I missed. Okay, so that's the corrections from last turn. Let's get on with the upkeep phase and turn 11. And here we are with our first player, who is Bob. So first things first, he is going to roll for his bank loan. Come on, Bob. And he gets a 4. He's doing very well with his bank loan. So he doesn't have to pay anything back. What is he going to do? Well, he's just going to go to Harney Jones's shack because we need to get some sanity back, because we lost 3, you remember, because he had the director's diary, 3 or 2, whatever. He's on 1 sanity and we can't have that. So let's get him to Harney Jones's shack, then he can have a special encounter there to get himself a sanity back. Right, so that is it for Bob. Next up is Joe Diamond. And here we are with Joe, and it's a big turn for Big Joe. He's got the Elder Sign, he's coming out of that gate to the woods and he's going to seal it. Now, he does have Private Investigator, but he's still in another world, really. It's the upkeep phase. He won't come out the other world to the movement phase, so he's not going to be able to undelay our friend Jackie, unfortunately. I don't think it's right, him using that while he's in another world. I don't think it works. I don't think it actually says it doesn't work. But it says you may choose one other investigator in Arkham, and I think that sort of suggests that you've got to be in Arkham as well, and he's not in Arkham, he's in another world. So, oh, that reminds me, let's refresh credit rating. Right, so he's not going to do that. All he's going to do is come out of that gate, he's going to seal it with the Elder Sign, he's going to lose a stamina, he's going to lose a sanity, and we are going to take a Doom token off Azathoth, which will be very handy. And then we'll have 5 sealed gates. So that's what he's going to do. He's still got a roll for his bank loan. And he gets a 3. So once again, he is just going to exhaust his credit rating. We're not going to mess around. Oh, in fact, perhaps we shall. Yes. Let's move his speed and his sneak. So 1, 2, 3. We'll put him back up to 6 speed, because we'll want him running around Arkham as soon as possible. In fact, I think he will go to South Church if he can. He should have a couple of gate tokens by then, and he should be able to bless some people. So I think he'll do that in a future turn. Right, so that's it for Joe. Next up is Jacqueline Fine. And here we are with Jackie. As I said, we're not going to undelay her, so she's just going to stand up in the movement phase, so there's not a great deal we can do here in Upkeep. In fact, absolutely zilch. So, yes, she's at the Hall School. She'll just stand up this turn, and then she will have another encounter at the Hall School. That is it for Jacqueline. Next up is Wilson Richards. And here we are with Wilson. Again, we're not going to change too much around. All we're going to do is we are going to send him to Congregational Hospital, and he's going to help get rid of that Rift token with any luck. So he's got enough speed, and that's pretty much it, really. So that's it for Wilson. Next up is Jim Culver. And here we are with Jim. Now, he's got 5 clue tokens now, but we want him to get those extra 2, which are there at the Black Cave. So he'll stay at the Black Cave and pick those up. He is hemmed in anyway by the Leng Spider and that gate. But if he picks up those 2 clues, then perhaps he'll come out next turn and try and deal with that Leng Spider if it hasn't already moved off. So that is it for Jim. I don't think we're going to do anything else with him. We're not going to move any of his sliders or anything. He is fine. So after Jim, it is Leo Anderson. And here we are with Leo. And we're going to be we're going to be bold. We're going to be bold with Leo. So first thing, let's move his fight up. So we're going to move his fight up to 3. We're going to use both of his focus. His will is on 2, but remember he's got +1 will with Persuade here, so that's pretty good, so no need to worry there, because we're going to move into the Esoteric Order of Dagon, and we're going to take Barnabas Marsh on. Now, it's -2 on the will check, so we're only going to be able to roll 1 die, but he can take 2 sanity damage, no problem, and he'll knock one of those back. Yes, with his leadership ability. Then we've got to do the fight. Now, unfortunately, he's got magical and physical resistance. Hence, I've moved his fight up to 3. We do have the fetch stick, though. So that's +7. So we've got to half that and round down. So we'll get +3. So that'll be 6 dice. And we do have grapple, so any fight check we have +1 to each die. So hopefully we will be able to get the 2, it's 2 toughness, so we'll need 2 successes, and we'll hopefully kill Barnabas. That means we remove a Doom token as well, so that'll be pretty good if we can actually kill him. The main reason is we don't want him guarding that gate. It does mean that poor old Leo is going to go through that gate, but we will be sending somebody after Leo. Leo doesn't have to close the gate. Yes, he can go through the other world, come out, and he doesn't have to close it. It will cost him a stamina, because it's a stamina gate, but again, that'll be in a future turn, and he can probably use his leadership ability to avoid that. So I think that is what we will do. And yeah, let's get Barnabas Marsh. We don't want him guarding that gate, because the investigator that we're sending after Leo It's poor old George, and George would have no chance of taking Barnabas Marsh out. So hopefully Leo will do the job for us, and then George will just follow Leo through that other world, and hopefully he will get to close the gate and win the game. So anyway, that's it for Leo. After Leo, it is Tony Morgan. And here we are with Tony. Just noticed as I moved Leo back over to where I keep all the investigators, I'd forgot to refresh his relationship card, which was survivors. Have done that now, so that's been refreshed. Here we are with Tony. What we're going to do with Tony, well, we're going to send him to Arkham Asylum. I just want to get his sanity back up to 3, and then we'll do our usual troubleshooter with Tony. We'll have a look at the state of the board at the end of this turn and then decide where we're going to send him. But as it stands, we'll just send him to Arkham Asylum to get that free sanity. Let's roll for his bank loan. And he gets a 4, so he doesn't have to pay his bank loan back, which is excellent. Right, that's it for Tony. Next up is our final investigator this turn, who is George Barnaby. And here we are with George. We will remember to refresh his relationship card, so Fellow Travellers is back in play. And he's going to use it again because he's going to need all of his 3 speed. Now, he's currently in Arkham Asylum. Oh, one thing he will do is he'll probably give some money to Tony during the movement phase, because obviously Tony's only got $3 left and he's got a bank loan, so I think he'll give him a couple of dollars just to help him out. But talking of dollars, he gets an extra $2 because he has a retainer, which he has remarkably kept all game. Can he keep it going? Let's roll the dice. Anything but a 1. A 6. Yes, he can keep it. So that's brilliant. Right, so he needs his 3 speed. He's got 2 here, and he's going to exhaust Fellow Travellers. And he's going to go to the train station. He's not going to go anywhere, so he doesn't have to pay $1. He won't be moving till the turn after. But as I say, we're hoping that Leo will kill Barnabas Marsh. Then, next turn, George will go from the train station to Joe Sargent's, then to Church Green, and then into the Esoteric Order of Dagon, and follow Leo into that gate. So that should be okay, because we can just move his speed up to 3 next turn, and then he'll have the 4 movement that he needs to do that. So that's it, I think, for George. He is possibly going to be our game winner. So hopefully he will get through that gate, manage to close it, and we will win the game. We shall see. Right, that is it for the upkeep phase. Next up is the movement phase. And here we are in the movement phase with Bob. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3 and move down to Harney Jones's shack. That is it for Bob. So let's get across to Joe Diamond. And here we are with Joe of the zany camera angles. He's coming out of the Great Hall of Celiano, and he is going to the woods. So that is it for Joe. After Joe, it is Jackie. And here's Jackie. So all she's going to do is she is going to stand up. She is no longer delayed. After Jackie, it's Wilson Richards. And here we are with Wilson. He's just going to go 1, 2 to Congregational Hospital. That is it for Wilson. Next up is Jim Culver. Here we are with Jim. He's going to stay in the Black Cave, so he's going to end his movement there so he can pick up these 2 clues. He now has 7. Excellent. Right, that is it for Jim. Next up, Leo Anderson. And here we are with Leo. He's going to move into the Esoteric Order of Dagon, where he's going to take on Barnabas Marsh. So we've got -2 on our horror check and then -3 on our combat check. He's magically and physically resistant because he's a pain in the backside. So let's do the horror check first. So I suppose we will need one of these. And he has a will of 2 +1 with persuade. So he's got 1 die. And he gets a 4, which isn't good enough. So he does lose 2 sanity, except it's only going to be 1 because he's going to use his ability. So his leadership ability has been used. Then he is going to attack. Now he's got 3 fight, so he gets all of that. He gets +1 fight from Earl Sawyer, so that's 4. Then he gets the fetch stick, which is 7, but we can only use half of that rounded down, so that's 3. So that's 7 dice minus the 3 that Barnabas has on the back there for his modifier. So we've got 4 dice. However, we've got grapple, so that gives us +1 to each die, so it's like being blessed. So let's roll 4 dice, and we're looking for 2 successes. Come on. Whoop. And we have got 2 successes, even though I've ruined my dice tower. I'll have to fix that. We've got a 6, but we get +1 on that 4, which is a 5. So that is 2 successes. Barnabas Marsh bites the dust. He goes back to the box. So we don't get him as a trophy, but we do take a Doom token off the Doom track. So that's good. We are now down to 8 Doom. Excellent. It'll probably go back to 9 as soon as we get to the Mythos phase. But well done to Leo. Excellent stuff. Okay, after Leo, it is Tony Morgan. Me again, nearly forgot. He's in Innsmouth, it's martial law, he's got to do a sneak check at -1. His sneak is 1, but he gets +1 sneak from Earl Sawyer. So that's 2 dice -1, he's got 1 die. Oh. Fix that now, put it back here, and we get a 4, so he failed, but that's okay because George is going to pay $2 to stop him getting arrested. So $2 stops him getting arrested. Right, now it's Tony Morgan. Let's get across to Arkham. And here we are with Tony. He's just going to go 1, 2, 3 to Arkham Asylum, where he's going to say hello to George. And he is going to get $2 off George, which will take him up to $5. So we'll just do that trade. Well, there we go. It's expensive. Expensive turn so far for George. And that is it for Tony. He's in Arkham Asylum. Right, next up is George. We may as well stay here because he's right there. And he's just going to go 1, 2, then he's going to exhaust fellow travellers and end up in the train station. So that is it for George. That is it for the movement phase. Next up is the Arkham encounter phase. And here we are with Bob. And as per the text here, instead of having an encounter, you may regain 1 sanity or 1 stamina. So he's going to take a sanity back. That puts him up to 2. And he'll probably stay here a couple of turns. But that's it for Bob. So let's move across to the woods and Joe Diamond. And here we are with Joe at the woods. And yes, he is going to use the Elder Sign. So when closing a gate, lose 1 stamina and 1 sanity and return this card to the box. We don't need to make a skill check or spend any clue tokens to seal the gate. In addition, 1 Doom token from the Ancient One's Doom track goes away. So gets this as a gate trophy. Unfortunately, we've got no star monsters, unfortunately. So we don't get rid of any monsters, but we can get rid of that. Get a stand back. Spends his stamina and his sanity. And seals the gate, which means we get a blue seal of funkiness. There we go. So I'll take a Doom off the Doom track, which now goes down to 9. That is it for Joe. Excellent work, Joe. Next up is Jackie Fine. Here we are with Jackie at the Hall School. So we need the South Shore deck, which is the red deck. A quick shuffle. And a cut. And let's see what we get. Hall School. You have a pleasant little chat with some of the students. Gain 1 sanity. How very nice. That's the sort of encounter we like. Her sanity is at its maximum, so she doesn't get it, but nothing bad happened. How lovely. Righto, so that is it for Jacqueline. Next up is Wilson Richards. And here we are with Wilson at Congregational Hospital, so that's the blue Central Hill deck. Here we go. Hopefully he can have just as good an encounter as Jackie did. So, quick shuffle and a quick cut. Congregational Hospital. You have a horrifying vision of yourself on an operating table, horribly wounded. Make a will +1 check. No! What's his will? His will is 2. Is there anything else that helps him? No. So 3 dice. 1, 2, 3. And let's have a go. Come on, Wilson. Oh, a 6. What a star. So he has passed. Make a will +1 check to convince yourself it's only an illusion. If you pass, lose 1 sanity. Oof! If you fail, that'd have been horrendous. Right, so we only lose 1 sanity. Unfortunately, he's got to take it because Leo has used his ability this turn. So Wilson is down to 4 sanity, unfortunately. But that's not too bad. We can handle that because it means we get rid of the Rift token, so that can go back in the Rift bag. That is it for Wilson. Next up is Jim Culver. And here we are with Jim in the Black Cave, so another Rivertown encounter. Let's see what we get this time. The Black Cave. Your presence has upset a large number of bats. As they fly about you, make a will -2 check. Ooh. Oh dear. Right, so let's check out what his will is. His will is 3, and I don't think he's got anything else to help him. No. So he's got 1 die. We'll use that 6. Come on. Another 6. Always re-roll your 6s, kids. How many times does Uncle Catweazle tell you? So we passed that. Where have I put the deck? I've put it down somewhere and I can't find it. There it is, behind the dice tower. Pick it up. Okay, Black Cave. If you fail, well, we didn't fail. Cool. Yep. So didn't lose anything. That's great. We'll put that back. And after Jim Culver, it will be Leo Anderson. And here we are with Leo, and Leo gets sucked through the gate to Another Time. So that is down here. We'll see him there shortly in the Otherworld encounter phase. But after Leo, it is Tony Morgan. And here we are with Tony at Arkham Asylum. As per the Arkham Asylum text, he is just going to get a sanity back for free. He only needs 1, so no need to pay $2. He can get 1 for free. Right, so that's it for Tony. But right next door to him in the train station is George. And George is going to have a train station encounter, which is the Orange Northside deck. So, quick shuffle. And let's see. Okay, train station. Hot peanuts are for sale on a push cart. You may pay up to $3 and gain 1 stamina for each dollar that you spend. No, we're not going to bother. But it's very nice. Very nice. He does like hot peanuts, but he's okay for stamina, I think, so we'll be fine. So we won't bother with that. That is it for George Barnaby. And that is it for the Arkham encounter phase. Next up is the Otherworld encounter phase. And here we are with Leo at Another Time. So let's pop that in there, we'll probably need it. So it's a red or a... is that a green or a blue? It's a green. Red or a green. And we get red. This is a horrendous abyss that we're not doing. So we've just got other. Discard this card and draw again. Red or a green. Blue. Green. We haven't got Another Time, so it's other. Is that you, Camilla? A voice calls to you in the darkness. If you flee, lose 1 stamina. And what's he at? He hasn't got much of either, to be honest, but he'll just flee. He's just going to flee, lose 1 stamina. That puts him down to 2. He's sailing a bit close to the wind, is good old Leo. Unfortunately, I had to use I had to use his focus during the upkeep phase to actually, you know, mess around with his fight and will. I think what I'll do next upkeep is obviously put his sneak up, because we don't want him fighting anything. He's only got 3 sanity and he's only got 2 stamina now. So I think we will knock his sneak up next upkeep. Okay, right, so that's it for Leo. That is it for the Otherworld encounter phase. Next up, oh yes, it's the laugh and chuckle phase. And here we are at the laugh and chuckle phase. So let's get a laugh and chuckle card and see what we get. Museum artifact stolen, a headline. We've got a gate opening in Independence Square, except we haven't, because it's not a gate burst and Independence Square is sealed. But that does mean that the Deep One Rising track goes up 1. So that's now on 2. So we might have to keep an eye on that, but we're near the end of the game. We can probably leave it, but I'll have to just keep half an eye on that. So that's great, because we don't need to pull anything out at all. That's fantastic. No gate, no monsters. Woo! So all this stuff that I prepared earlier, I can move back. And we remain on 8 Doom. Not 9 Doom, 8 Doom. So, right. We still get monster... Oh, a clue appears at the woods. Which goes straight into Joe's pocket. That's awesome. So Joe has now got a clue. You might need for re-rolls or something. So that's great. And monster movement. So bloody hexagonal monster movement again. This is madness. So hexagons, we haven't got any. We have got slash. So let's move the gate while we remember. And it's on black again. So the Moon Beast goes into downtown and now traps Tony Morgan in the asylum. The Leng Spider goes to East Town, but at least Jim can get out. Triangle movement, we haven't got any triangles. Stars, we haven't got any stars, so that's okay. So, yes, they've just moved right around. That's how we've had this card, well, this monster movement so often. Look how the Moon Beast started in the woods originally. He's gone uptown, south side, French Hill, Rivertown and downtown. I must have had at least, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. 6 at least. Probably more, because we might have had a couple before we got the Moon Beast out. So that's amazing. Anyway, what else? Rift. So gonna go on here. Good job we had somebody in Kingsport. I did mention it last turn, but you know, we'd have just filled these rifts up like now, right? Especially this bottom one here. So let's get the rift bag, and we get. What do we get? That looks like the rope and anchor again. It is. That goes on here. So we'll get, I think we'll send Jackie up there. We'll get Wilson out. Finally, we'll get him out of Kingsport. I think we'll send him into Arkham and he can start like trying to kill this Leng Spider and this Moon Beast. Anyway, that's monster movement done. Museum artifacts stolen. Headline. Investigators in Arkham may pay $5 in bribe fees to make a connection with the robbers. Those who do so may draw a number of exhibit items equal to their focus, maximum 4. Choose one and discard the rest. Ooh, who's got loads of money? Well, it's pretty much George. George has loads of money, and Joe Diamond. So George isn't going to do it. The reason George isn't going to do it is he needs bribe money, you know, to stop people getting arrested. But there's no reason why Joe can't do it. Joe's got $10, so he's going to pay $5, and it's quite thematic. You know, the gumshoe gets in touch with the robbers, pays $5 for information. His focus is 3, so we draw 3 exhibit items. Woohoo! And we choose one. Right, so which are the items? No, those are the encounters. It's the other deck. Right, this is the item deck. So we get to choose 3. Well, choose 1 out of 3. So the first one is Mask of the Messenger. Any phase, exhaust this card to either use your sneak -1 instead of your speed for making a speed check, or use your speed -1 instead of your sneak for making a sneak check. Weird. That'd be quite good for him because his speed is actually 6 at the moment. But he is a bit of a face puncher, so there's not much for him to have to sneak by, I must admit. Mask of Wisdom. Any phase, exhaust this card to either use your law -1 instead of your luck for making a luck check, where it's the same except it's luck and law. And it looks like all the masks are coming out. What's this? Eye of Light and Darkness. Before you make a skill check, you may return this card to the box and lose up to 3 sanity or stamina in any combination. For each point of sanity or stamina lost, you gain +2 on the skill check. He could probably use this. Yeah, the masks aren't a big deal, I don't think, because like I say, he's a bit of a face puncher, so, and he's got great speed anyway, so he doesn't need the Mask of the Messenger. I mean, luck check and law, I'm not thinking he's going in a gate again, so we'll discard those, and he'll take the Eye of Light and Darkness. You never know if he's fighting something that might come in for a fight check or a horror check, something like that. So he's got the Eye of Light and Darkness. Okay, we'll give that to Joe. He has an exhibit item. Let's pop this back down here. That is it for that Mythos card, which was pretty good. And yes, another pretty good turn. Indeed, we have sealed a gate. One thing I did forget is I didn't use his explore token, did I? Sorry about that. Should use an explore token. I keep forgetting. But other than that, yes, brilliant. We've sealed a gate. We managed to kill Barnabas Marsh. We put the Doom back by 1, so we're on 8. And we didn't get a gate opening this turn because we got a normal Mythos card. So we were able to knock it back. The only bad thing was, obviously, we did get an extra Deep 1 Rising marker. But I think that's okay. We're only on 2. Okay, anything that is bad. Leo slightly. He's only got 2 stamina now and 3 sanity, so he's sort of hanging by a thread a bit. Bob's only got 2 sanity, but other than that, I think we're pretty okay. There's no need to go into the Marsh Refinery, so we can leave those horrible monsters up there. They haven't moved, so that's great. It's cleared the way for both... Oh yes, it's cleared the way for both Jim and Joe to go to South Church. Let's get them into South Church and let's get people blessed. So I think that will help Leo, because yes, he is only on 2 stamina, so let's get him blessed. Hopefully that'll stop him losing anything else. And we will bless George as well, because George is going to go into that gate right after Leo. And yes, hopefully in a couple of turns, well, fabulous, you know, we will be able to win this game and get our 6th seal. Remember, we've still got a load of clues with Jackie, so any horrible Mythos card that comes out, we should be able to knock it back. Not that we've had to so far. We've done really well on our Mythos cards for the last few turns. The last 4 or 5 have been pretty good. So yes, a brilliant turn 11. Thank you for watching. Thanks for all the views, for all the subscriptions, for all the likes, for all the dislikes. You're still watching. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the help and support, and as ever, if you've noticed any errors, please let me know and I will try and fix them for next turn. Other than that, anybody who's been across to Board Game Links to view the videos over there, thank you very much. And similarly, anybody who's gone to BGG and liked the video threads over there or made any sort of comment or Geek Gold contribution, thank you. It is really appreciated. Thank you so much for doing that. Okay, so that is the end of turn 11. I hope you will join me for turn 12, but until then, this is me, Catweazle, signing off. Toodaloo.